Welcome back aboard BLERD Force 1 with your boys Mo and Ladi. And today we are reviewing Hit Monkey Season 2, the long-awaited sequel to a very good animated Marvel show. And it's coming to you on Hulu. So, what did we think about it, and should you be watching? And before we get into this review, do us a favor, get down there and hit like on this video. Ladi, John Wick with a monkey face is back, I guess you can say. I think they saw that Dev Patel Monkey Man was out there. Like, we got to capitalize on this. So let's get a sequel to. I would argue is one of the better Marvel animated, outings, as far as I'm concerned. Surprisingly good. Hit Monkey, based on a very obscure but interesting, character, an assassin, a snow macaque turned assassin wearing a suit. And haunted by a ghost of an assassin named Bryce. And they kind of turned Japan upside down in the previous season, but now they're in New York, and they're trying to make a name for themselves. But Bryce has got a little deal with the devil going on for all of the killing that they're doing. And oh, by the way, there also is Lady Bullseye, and someone's really trying to mess up New York, as far as I can see. So, Ladi, there's so much going on in this, and we got a lot to talk about, but what did you think about this season?
I personally really like this season. I could see how some people say it wasn't as good as season 1, because I agree, it didn't have the zaniness of season 1. It wasn't like over the top like season 1 was, and I agree. But I feel like this season was way better written. Actually had a more absolute, like, concrete story. And another reason why I think some people may not like this season as much as the previous season is that Hit Monkey really wasn't the main character in this season.
Right. Yeah. I'm one of those people. This season disappointed me. I had really high hopes. Like, the first season was so phenomenal, and just kind of out of nowhere was really good. It had a lot of interesting characters. It's a lot of, it's like the first John Wick. It's kind of just like, once it gets moving, it's like kind of nonstop, action oriented, that sort of thing. This one takes John Wick and sort of slows it down. Sits and that makes it episodic. It's not as interesting that way. And also, as you said, and this is one of the things I hit on, Hit Monkey is not the main character of his own show. He's kind of a sidekick for half of the episodes, because Bryce is the main character in this show. And remember, Bryce was the sidekick in the previous season, kind of the color commentary, but was more or less there to sort of guide but not really do. In this one, he's doing. And then it's all about his backstory, his tragic problem with his daughter, his connection to the underworld. And then, sort of out of all of that, also, there's these magical weapons that are, possesses, what's her name, Haruka, who's, for some reason, has come to America for reasons. I think it's because she's trying to avenge the death of all the police that she worked with, trying to find out who did it. And that's interesting and all, but they introduce these characters. And what's her name, Akiko, who was the future prime minister's daughter, who now she's got a mad on for Hit Monkey.
I just want to say I do not care for her character whatsoever.
Well,
I do not like her character. Like, her character, in my opinion, makes zero sense.
Well, she's consumed by her hate and rage and everything. I feel like it was just an excuse to have Lady Bullseye in the show again, because Lady Bullseye was really cool in the previous season. That may be my complaint about this season, because they had to take out all of the explicit Marvel references, right? They had to take them all out, because this is a Marvel show in the sense that it is a Marvel character, but they had to take out all of the Marvel references. Therefore, they had to make up characters, and they aren't as good. I hate to say that, they're not as good.
Yeah.
They try to make them interesting. like the sword that turns what's her name, Haruka into a kind of a legendary warrior. I mean, that's interesting, but and you know, all the bad guys are unrecognizable, and when they finally do come up and start doing stuff, they're kind of lackluster.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a twist you see coming from a mile away because literally Bryce is telling you it's going to happen. So it's like all of this is going on. I guess my thing is I sat there and watched this show and I was like, this is cool, but I'm not feeling particularly drawn to any of the characters. Like I'm not feeling like super invested in what any of them are doing, or their character development or growth or anything like that. I didn't feel strongly attached to anybody, not even
Yeah.
Hitmonkey, which was really unfortunate. And let me tell you, putting Bryce front and center, I don't know why they thought that was the thing to do, because he's kind of a dick half of the time, right? The other half of the time, he's sort of, trying to be a better person, but he's bad at it. And I'm just like, or people are shitting on him. You know, I mean, the ghost powers are cool and everything. The stuff with the devil, that was cool. It just like, why would you put? Why? I guess what I'm saying is, why would you make the centerpiece character of a show be kind of unlikable? Is my question. Ladi, help me understand. Am I wrong about this feeling about Bryce?
I mean, you're not wrong. I feel like when it came to Bryce, I feel like in this show, the way they written this show, it's like you said, you could clearly see the writers of the show were clearly neutered on what they can do with what they could do with season 2 and the material, because I felt like every single character in the show that was originally in season 1 was cut in half. They were just all just cut in half and neutered. They turned Hitmonkey into like a, you know, an emotional, sad, sad, not even really, I won't even really want to say a killer. He was just a sad person. Then they turned, like you said, what was her name?
The,
Uh,
the
the cop, the Japanese cop again.
Haruka.
Yeah, Haruka. Just one moment she's like, this character's interesting, and the next moment she's not really doing anything. She's like, one moment she has the sword, and you're like, oh, okay, she's one of the most powerful characters. Like Bryce said, someone just leveled up. To the next half of the show, she's literally doing absolutely nothing, and
Yeah.
then she gets the power again, and then boom. It's just like, I like I said, I feel like the overall story that they were trying to do is better written. The characters are not better written, but the story that they're trying to do is better written. I have hopes for season 3. I have hope for season 3 because now, if you want to go into spoilers, we kind of already saw at the end of season 1 that, that Bryce is the one that now is alive and Hitmonkey's now the ghost.
Right. Yeah. Hitmonkey dies basically to say.
Which let me just say, the way they handled death in this season kind of felt like I didn't believe that they were dead. Every time they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, they're dead." No, I don't believe so. No, they're really dead.
Right.
Really?
Well, I mean, death matters because a lot of people die in this. This is John Wick in the sense that a lot of people die, and this is also Marvel in the sense that when you finally get to the end game, the final boss, the final bad guys, the death is pretty Marvel-esque in terms of like the horrificness of it and like the superpowered nature of it. There are superpowered people in this. And I will say, look, I'm not shitting on this show. I liked it well enough. It just was a big letdown to me because I had high hopes. And that's my fault for having my hopes so sky high. There are some pretty fun and interesting things in this. I actually like the idea of the special weapons, that kind of have their own different powers. I like the one bad guy who had a third eye. He could see 2 minutes into the future. And the way that they sort of dealt with that by having a guy that slows time down. I thought that was cool. Like, it was a really well thought out thing. I enjoyed the little girl, that basically was like, from The Ring or that sort of thing. and how she actually was just, she looked like she was, the little girl climbing out the TV, but actually she was just a little girl with an unfortunately ridiculous kind of power set. But and I liked her relationship with Hitmonkey. That was like that was good stuff.
Yeah.
I even liked the whole boy band guy, Boone, and the way I knew he was going to be a bad guy, but I kind of liked the way that they set it up that he was a good bad guy, if that makes sense. Like those things were fun. And I like the banter between, when Bryce was being an asshole to people. That's fun, right? So that, I mean, there's good stuff in here. It's not a bad season. It just did not ascend to the heights that it was capable of, and I think it really is revolving around just characters who, and I won't even say like Bryce is unlikable, but he grows on you in a bit, but in the sense that the other surrounding characters, why you have nothing to really attach to them, not really.
Yeah, like I just like the new lady, what was it, Lady Bullseye was just.
Yeah.
I like every time she showed up on screen, I'm like literally like Lisa Leslie character where she was like, this bitch. I felt that in my soul. Cause that's literally I'm like here she comes like a damn wrecking ball going just wanting to kill people for no reason. I just wanted everyone has to die around Monkey. Why?
I like it was cool to see Ghost Lady Bullseye. That was cool. But it's like there was a lot of that's cool moments. Like even when they killed the giant, the giant, the guy that could turn into a giant. I mean that was cool. It just didn't amount to like something that was like really grabbing me, grabbing my attention. Like I was looking at social media watching some bits of this show. So and I hate to say that, but it's just true. There were bits of it that where I was like, okay, move on to the next thing.
I mean, you're not wrong to feel that way. Like I said, I definitely felt moments. Like I said, I felt like this is a season that could have did a lot better. And it's like you said, the way you explained it, and you said that they basically they couldn't really reference certain characters. I said, okay, that makes sense. It makes sense why this show's not doing as well as it should. Because I mean, it's not. It feels like the writing or some of these characters were just forced in. You know what I mean? Because I'm just trying to figure out how did old chick all of a sudden become this deadly assassin. It's just like,
well, I mean, they kind of showed that she wasn't, because that other assassin almost killed her. And then when she, Lady Bullseye helped her out, and then I was like, okay, she's got her own. Even the fight between Lady Bullseye, Ghost Lady Bullseye, and Bryce, that was fun. Like the little aspect of him being able to be in the real world and how they played around with that. I mean, that was cool and everything, but you knew it was going to come down to him, basically using all of his time to do something heroic. We knew that. So there was just a lot of story beats that they let us know were going to happen. And it wasn't interesting enough. Not that it wasn't interesting. It just wasn't. It just wasn't grabbing me and making me go like, "Oh, this is awesome!" Like I know this show wasn't like really popping for me because I only really popped off about once or twice, and like the first season was like so much different than that. So I mean, I think overall, like I would say, if you watch the first season, definitely watch this and take it all in. And I think that's, it's a worthwhile investment of your time. But like, this is not as good as it could have been. It's a disappointment to me. And if they do get a third season, I really, really want them to like rewatch the first season and kind of channel some of that energy back into this, because there's so much potential. Even if you have to make up villains and superpowers and shit like that, it's they could do so much better. Like this essentially comes down to just basically being Archer but not funny enough, if that makes sense. It feels like Archer but not funny enough, and they could do so much better with this show. So
there was not a single time when I was watching the show that I said hit monkey.
Yeah.
The fact that I didn't say hit monkey watching the show, it just
Yeah, and
I
it's
was just like hit monkey.
and it's crazy because there's plenty of gore and violence and shit in this. It just and it's plenty stylish in many ways. Like I appreciate what they were doing, but I just think the story didn't really take off. So,
Yeah.
but either way, I think that's all of our thoughts on this season. What did you guys think about these new episodes? What do you think about what we had to say? Get down to the comment section, leave your thoughts there, and of course you can always hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com, blerd_force1 on Instagram and Threads, super_not_funny show on TikTok. And while you're doing that, do us a favor, hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. All that good stuff helps to grow this channel, helps more people to see videos just like this. All right, thanks for joining us. Come back next time. We have plenty more reviews on this channel. So until then, I've been Mo, your comment extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the anime expert, video game designer, and lover of all things superhero, my good friend Ladi. And we'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you.